Hey, what the world is going on, Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans? It's your boy, Big Game James. That's right, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive lineman. And this is Games Peter Perspective. Tonight, I had to bring you the special Tampa Bay Buccaneers Detroit Lions preview. And I have a guest that's going to help me do that. Big time Detroit Lions fan. Stay tuned. Get ready for the ride. Woo, NFL fans, we are getting ready for the divisional round of the playoffs. That's right, week 2 of the NFL playoffs, and a matchup that I am waiting for, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Detroit Lions, a rematch of what went down in week 6. But what fun is doing a show if you got to get on here and do it by yourself? I had to take this call from my man. He reached out to me. He said, yo, you got to let me on the show. I said, matter of fact, we're going to do a special show all by ourselves. So tonight on Games Peter Perspective, I bring in Detroit Lions fan, part of the Puff Sip Chat family, no other than Stickman Simp. Simp, welcome to the show, baby.
What's up? What's up? Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Excited, man. You are doing great things with your podcast. I love it. Great content. You give some good perspective from a person who's played in the league, and it's just really good, man. Really good. I just enjoy what you talk about, and I learn a lot, and I'm glad to be here. And who would have thought in many years that we would be in this position right now? It's exciting for us, Michigan fans, Detroit fans. 30 years in the making, and I'm just happy. I'm happy.
Hey, Simp, I gotta ask you a question, dog, because when you guys hired Dan Campbell and I saw the press conference, I was like, yo, what the hell are the Lions doing? There's no way in hell they seriously hired Dan Campbell as a coach and they're gonna get things done. Now, I've always been a man to when I make a mistake and I'm wrong on something,
Right.
I ate all the crow on this one. I was wrong big time. But you being the fan that you are of the Detroit Lions, what was your thoughts when Dan Campbell was introduced as the Lions coach?
Well, see, I'm gonna be honest with you, because not only am I eating crow, I'm eating Black Hawk, I'm eating Raven, any black bird out there, I'm eating it, because I was like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? What in the haberdashery and hemoglobin? I stole that from somebody. It's not mine original, but he was talking about that gritty football. You knock us down on the way back up, we're gonna bite you on the kneecap.
That's what got me. Yes.
Exactly. Yes. And we all joked. I'm just sitting there like, oh my goodness. Now look at all of us across the board. We're all saying, wow, I see what he was talking about.
Yeah. And as a player back in the day, we played, Dan Campbell and I played around the same time. We laughed a little bit. So, he was a Jeremy Shockey wannabe, long hair hanging out his helmet. But he was the same type of player that he is a coach. And so hearing the press conference made me laugh, made me crack up. But seeing how he played on the field, how he worked his ass off to be that guy, to make a roster, to make a team, I shouldn't be surprised really by what he's doing. Needless to say, people always ask me about my experience and my time playing football. Right. And people don't realize when I first got in the league, the Lions and the Buccaneers were in the same division. It was the NFC Central. So I used to have I played in Pontiac in the Silver Dome. I got a chance to witness Barry Sanders last season, my rookie year, and I still tell everybody I was like a kid on Christmas. I was on the sideline. I was just like, my mouth wide open, like, that's Barry Sanders. After the game, you go up, players talk, high five, talk to each other. I'm a bit, Mr. Sanders, how you doing, sir? I mean, it was amazing to see what he did for that franchise, and then to be able to play them. So I'm excited because it brings back some of those old days of the NFC Central to me that I missed. I still hated it. Like, why the hell we got to go to Chicago, Minnesota, Detroit, and Green Bay, being all the way from Florida? The NFL was wrong for that. But needless to say, we did what we had to do. Somewhat of a rivalry renewed. We get to go in there this week. And we saw you guys earlier this season. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let you get your spill in, because week 6, we break out the creamsicles. I was like, perfect team to do it against Detroit. They're playing better, but this is going to be a good win for us. And lo and behold, Detroit wins this game 20-6. And I think it was at that point where people around the NFL kind of put on notice that the Detroit Lions were on a mission to try to make a statement.
Well, regarding that game, a lot of people don't realize how close it was, because Baker missed a wide open. What's your receiver name?
Was it Mike Evans or Chris Godwin?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Missed a wide open Mike Evans down the field. So there were just a couple of plays where that game would have been a whole lot closer. And we know that Tampa, the Bucs, are a different team now than they were then. Just like I went to the Monday Night Football game, Eagles versus the Bucs in Tampa.
Right.
I was there with a group of guys, and that Buccaneers team was different, and the Eagles will show you, and it showed when they played the Eagles. Yeah, we were different then. And so, I'm saying we're like I'm about to get out there and learn stuff.
It happens, bro. It's all good.
We are not, and I would hope that they're not coming into because this is the playoffs. It doesn't matter really it doesn't matter what your record is right now,
as Dallas.
Because anything, and this, it's all that stuff is out the window. Yeah. Cats are playing, to go to the next round, and everybody's, there's no easy. Oh, we got this. No, it ain't no easy nothing. Okay, so look at Green Bay and Dallas.
Right.
Lord help. Exactly. It's the playoffs, baby. That's what it is. So just like you guys are a different team, yeah, we're a different team as well. We're a little different. So, but we don't have the record that you guys have in the playoffs. Shout out to Reggie, Stickman number 1. He sent out a group text talking about, hey, Tampa Bay got some wins since playoff wins, and like you're right, we're the ones that don't have any playoff wins versus outside of the one last week. So we're, even though we're coming in, I think as an
yes, we will leave Dallas out of this, but it's always fun to be able to poke a little fun at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, we're the ones coming in with no experience in 30 years, so that's why I'm nervous. Yes, I'm confident, but I'm a confident, nervous person. I'm not like, oh, we got this. No, by no stretch of the imagination, because my boy is just as prone as turning the ball over as your boy.
Yeah, so let's take a few minutes, let you run down what happened this past weekend. I'm not gonna lie, Detroit Lions came out hot and fast against the Los Angeles Rams. And the Rams was a team that a lot of people said that they did not want to play. I know my co-host from Big Game Sports Buzz, the Buff Nerd, Jay Stoggs, was looking past Green Bay, already talking about not wanting to play against the Rams, because I think we both picked the Rams in the upset of Detroit. Now, I was pulling for Detroit, but I thought the Rams did certain things on offense that the Lions were vulnerable to. And it kind of showed that in the score. But when that game first started, 3 straight drives, 3 straight touchdowns, on fire, they couldn't really be stopped. I was like, oh, damn, Detroit's on a mission for real. Then the Rams got some touchdowns going back and forth. and I know we're not talking about the Rams, but I will have to say my boy Sidney Halu tried to tell me about Puka Nacua. He worked with Sidney as a youth out in Utah and in Nevada, playing Little League football up into high school. And he's like, James, this kid's good enough. He's going to be impact in the NFL. I'm like, yeah, okay. Dude, that was my first game really seeing them play, watching the Rams game and watching him on offense operate like no other. And I liked what he did, and I think he helped give Tampa a blueprint of what they need to do.
Yeah, he ain't give y'all nothing. Anyway, but let me give a shout out to Puka Nacua. That dude showed his tail. Is he Samoan or Hawaiian?
Yeah, he's Samoan.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you, those Samoans are known for either being linebackers or defensive line, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
They play fearless, right?
Right.
Imagine a receiver with that mentality, and he showed it.
True.
He showed it, and I tipped my hat because I was like, will somebody put 5 people on him or something? But, and he not only was he catching the ball, he was catching and running and then eluding tackles. People had hands on him. So give him a shout out to that. Okay, that's enough of that. Now we came out banging. You're right, we did. And then I'm gonna talk about an intangible later. We came out banging. I just believe we haven't been good in our third quarter. We have not been a good third quarter team. And then we get into a different mindset. It's like we go into fighting for our lives, which in a lot of cases we've come out on top. Mm-hmm. And of course, Stafford, he's going to sling it, and he was, in the second half. And I think that's something that they need to fix. They need to stop this. Getting up. I mean, if you get up, okay, well, let's coast. No, and then at the last minute, now you're trying to, survive, because that's all we did was survive their onslaught. But I'm going to tell you the intangible. Yes, Matt Stafford was coming back to play against Detroit. Mm-hmm. But the intangible on our end was greater. Here's a guy, Jared Goff. He went to the Super Bowl with his team.
Right.
And they let it. And they kicked him out of town. Now he goes to they swap quarterbacks. Now then that quarterback comes and wins a Super Bowl. And then he goes to this team and he's like, man, I was happy we got him, because I'd rather have a experienced quarterback than just to trade for somebody else. Right. So he had to prove to his ex-team that I'm good enough to be here in this moment. And also to be able to say, I want to give this team their first playoff win in 30 years. I believe his intangible was greater than Matt Stafford coming back to Detroit. And he was playing like that. Do you know he went 21 for 21?
Wow. Yeah.
He went 21 for 21. No turnovers. He was slinging it until they started changing stuff. But he went 21 for 21 that game. He did what he was supposed to do. Our defense kind of lightened up a little bit. But I just think in the end, it's that intangible. Like one of your favorite players, Tom Brady. Tom Brady used to make up a reason to be mad at the other team. Oh, they said something about my mama. Right. Just to get mad. just to get mad. So it boils down to that intangible. What to get you up. And I just think for that day, I think the quarterback position, I think Jared Goff's intangible was just much more greater than Matt Stafford's.
Man, and one small thing, you look at this game preview for the Buccaneers and the Lions. They're both Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield, 2 former number 1 draft picks, 2 years apart. They both have something to prove. Everyone wrote Baker Mayfield off after being traded from Cleveland to the Carolina Panthers, which now we know was just a straight dumpster fire, right?
Yep.
And here it is in any situation. You have to go replace what everyone calls the GOAT, the greatest to ever do it at the quarterback position, in Tom Brady. It's not it's not an easy task to do.
Oh, so just skip over Jameis Winston, huh? You ain't even talk about Jameis Winston.
I mean, what you want me to talk about? The last second touchdown that's about to get his ass cut from the Saints against
Jameis Winston was there longer than Brady was.
He was, but what did Jameis Winston win in Tampa, Sean? I mean, when it comes down to it. Now, I'll say this. I like Jameis as a quarterback. And everyone talked about the 30 interceptions, but they didn't really talk about what it took to get the 30 touchdowns. The dude had four different offensive coordinators in the 5 years he was in Tampa. It's hard to do it with someone different telling you how to do it every year. So I don't fault Jameis Winston, but Jason Light, as a general manager, knew what pieces he had around him, and he made the move to get the right person at the quarterback spot, which was Tom Brady. Because look, Mr. Kraft and Brady and Belichick, the marriage was over in New England. It just wasn't going to work anymore. Tom gave us the best chance to win and get our second Super Bowl title. And that's what happened. So for those reasons, yes, Jameis' ass is going to get skipped. He is going to get skipped and not talked about tonight.
Okay.
Hey, Jabbo's a good dude, but not tonight, bro. So yes, but realistically, I like an underdog story. Yeah. And a lot of people hate Baker Mayfield. And I was one of those ones I was like, you know what? When Tom was first about to retire and he came back that last year, I mentioned why not go after Baker Mayfield. Tom came back, didn't work. I wanted to see Kyle Trask get a chance this year. I really did. He was a second-round draft pick, early second-round draft pick, damn near first round, right? So let's see what we got in this guy. But Baker came in. He went over the locker room. He gave the Buccaneers some relevance because, needless to say, this team was really built around his defense and Antoine Winfield Jr. But every time someone talks about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they talk about our quarterback, Baker Mayfield. So I think that helped from the standpoint of ownership wanting the relevance still to be talked about once one quarterback left, getting another quarterback that can help keep the conversation going. But, up for comeback player of the year after the season he's having and what he's been able to do. And early on in the season, like you said, when we played y'all, it was bad. But these last 5 games, 1-4-1, being where he is, he's made some decent plays and made it relevant again. I'm
a football fan. Okay. I love my teams.
Sean, they want to know what's in your cup too. And somebody just asked me, they want to know what you're sipping on.
I'm sipping on a little bit of Tullamore Dew. It's an Irish whiskey, triple distilled. So Tullamore Dew, Irish whiskey. So I love stories of players. It just makes it exciting. Right. Can't really say I like stories when it comes to that team with the star. But anyway, but I like Baker Mayfield. I think he has a lot of grit. He is like that underdog story. And for him to be in this position right now, wow, second round of the playoffs, got a playoff win on a new team, and like you said, a lot of people counted him out. And it's like, but he had enough fight, and he had enough fight in him, and that's what it boils down to. I think a lot of times, like I said, it's those intangibles. What's going to get you? What gets you up? I can say, come on, Jamie, come on, but if you can't get yourself up within, and it seems like that's what he's done. That's what he's been doing all year. But the same thing with Jared Goff. He's been written off as well. It was like, he's going to the Lions to die. I mean, it was like, okay, his career will be done after a while. And they both are resurging right now. Right. I'll be honest with you, I'd prefer for this to be a NFC championship game versus, what it is now, because of you talking about a story, why not have this type of story? But what makes me just sit back and say, we'll see, is because I've seen my quarterback throw 3 interceptions in a game. I've seen my quarterback in a 3-game span throw 10 interceptions. In a 3-game span, I've seen that. Soon as the announcer said, "Oh, yes, Jared Goff hasn't thrown any interceptions," next thing you know, it's like it's one after the next, you know.
Right.
And I've seen your quarterback do amazing thing. I've seen Baker do amazing thing, but I've also seen Baker get extra cocky. He was like, "Throw it away, Baker." "No, I can fit it in that tight window." "Throw it away. I can fit it in that tight window." You know, so it's like one of those things, you know. So that's what makes this game to me exciting, nerve-wracking. If I had hair, I'd be pulling half of it would be pulled out by now. But you know, I'm looking forward to this. But like I said, this thing, I mean, your defensive line, y'all blitz dang near every dang.
We blitz a lot. I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute too. But you said something a few minutes ago. You said do whatever it takes to get you up in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, y'all have a defensive back that's known for talking cash money shit. CJ Gardner-Johnson. So he took a swipe at Baker the other day. He said, you know, Tampa Bay receivers would be great. I mean, would be a great group if they had a quarterback that could throw them the ball.
Dang.
Baker Mayfield kind of, you know,
he said that.
Yeah, he said that. And Baker Mayfield said, you know, that's good. He just need to go out and maybe study a little bit more film. He kept it real subtle with the jabs back. But, you know, those are the type of things where CJ Gardner-Johnson is always the one that's trying to get in people's head and will come up with something and say something. And I think Baker took the high road with taking the jab. And it goes into a longer extent. I was reading on Buccaneers.com, and he said, you know, he's making references to when Russell Gage was here. Russell got hurt early in the year. That shows me that he's not watching film, even, you know, and he just got back. But my man Grandizer just posed a question. I'm going to pull it up real quick and see what it says. It says, question about which 3 2023 rookies have impressed you the most? If any have impressed you, what kind of impact will they have in this game? Sean, y'all have done a great job with the draft picks that y'all loaded up on for getting rid of Matthew Stafford and getting Jared Goff. And you were able to get some key pieces. Are there any rookies right now on the Lions squad that have really impressed you a lot? And you think, what difference do you think they might make in this game?
If he has an all-out game, y'all really need to be watching Laporta, our tight end. That dude is money. I know he's playing with like a slightly tender knee. He only had a little bit of a play last week, but I mean, we did get a touchdown to him. But Laporta.
Gotcha.
Now let me see. Gibbs is not a rookie.
No, he is. Jahmyr Gibbs is a rookie from Alabama.
Jahmyr Gibbs, that's right.
That
Gibbs.
mother lover there, boy. Whoa.
He still has a lot to learn from hitting the holes or waiting for the holes to open up. That's why Montgomery is such as effective as he is going through those gaps. I mean, he'll break out on the side in a minute, but you know, he could be dangerous. Now, mind you, Gibbs didn't play in week 6, and y'all hurt Montgomery in week 6.
Right.
So he didn't play a full game.
Right.
So we got both of them, you know, God willing, for the whole game.
Right.
And but I think those two. Am I missing anybody else that's a rookie?
I know you was one defensive line, not Aiden Hutchinson, but the interior defensive lineman. I believe he's either rookie or second year. He was one of the draft picks, number 56 or 54 on your team. I cannot remember his name right now, but he is a run stopper, and he can also get out the quarterback via pass.
Yeah, I know. I think it's like awesome. a linebacker. But yeah,
linebacker too. Y'all are young and good. But I know, hey man, Grandizer, the 3 for me, I'll put the question back up. That's what if anybody watching later, they'll see what's going on. But for me, the 3 rookies, the one guy I talk about all the time that I love to death is Yaya Diaby, a 3rd-round draft pick out of Louisville. He leads the team with 7.5 sacks right now. He's
Boy.
able to get things done. He started he earned and won the starting job at about week 7, week 8, and he hasn't looked back since then. He gets after it. He has a motor, and if you're gonna wear the number 0, you have to go out and make shit happen. You cannot wear 0 and be a scrub. He's doing that.
That's what I'm saying. The dude gets it. The dude gets it.
And then I said Yaya Diaby. And then Kalijah Kancey. At one point in time, he was leading all rookies with tackles for loss. He was actually in the top 10 for defensive linemen with tackles for loss. Had a little stint where he was a little banged up and gets after it, has a high motor. He reminds a lot of Buccaneer fans of Warren Sapp. And to get that praise and that comparison early on in your career says a lot. And then first and foremost, I got to say Palmer, wide receiver, 5th round draft pick out of Nebraska. Dude, one of the fastest 40 times at the combine. A lot of people slept on him, passed on him, and he has been a great playmaker for the Buccaneers. And I believe all 3 of these guys have impact on what goes on in this game because we have the pressure. And I mean, my keys to victory, I'm going to talk about a lot of this stuff. But all 3 of those guys will definitely be needed for what they've done. And Palmer brings a 3rd receiver that we were nervous when Russell Gage got hurt this preseason. We're like, oh shit, who's our number 3 to Godwin and Evans? Like, what are we gonna do? And dude, no sugarcoating it. Mike Evans, the targets that he had and the drops that he had in that wild card game on Monday night against the Eagles, like thank God everybody else when played the way they did.
Right.
Big shout out to Cade Otten. But those 3 rookies are the rookies for me, Grandizer, that I believe are going to have to make the plays and that are going to be key contributors for the Buccaneers to have success and be able to try to come out of Ford Field with a win.
Because Mike Evans, man, and just watching him over the year, I've seen him make some drops, and I'm like, dude, you've been in it too long, even just to be making those. And you don't want to have a player where it's like, okay, which one are we going to have today? Which player are we going to have? Are we going to have the one that got glue all over their hands, or ever so often? And that's the thing that I see with Mike. I'm not saying he's going to be dropping passes on Sunday. I mean, I hope he does, but don't get me wrong. It ain't like I'm rooting for him or nothing, but yeah, it's things like that. And my man, the thing that kind of makes me a little nervous with Jared Goff is him throwing in tight coverage. He loves that. And it's like he just barely gets it in there, but he gets it in there. Yeah, shit.
Hey, shout out to my man Christopher Cole. Chris, diehard Buccaneers fan. So good to see you on here, man.
Cole, what's up?
Hey, make sure you're in front of that TV, giving it all you got, because you bring a different energy to our Buccaneers, bro. I swear, every time you there, you make a difference, man. We really appreciate it. And Grandizer, yes, Brian Branch is a hell of a safety. He was a guy that I had for the Buccaneers big board if he was available at a certain pick. He was not. I knew he was going to be going once we got Kancey, but Brian Branch out of Alabama is a damn good safety and has some damn good plays all season long.
And thank you, Grandizer. I love how he split the name, Sean, SEAN / SHAWN, but it is the free. Anyway, SEAN. That's how it's
just so everybody know, there it is. I'll put it back up for a second. There we go. But hey, Sean, earlier on the first matchup, man, like you said, they had some plays. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense did not do a great job. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, the score was low and it was close, but Jared Goff threw for 353 yards and 2 touchdowns. The edge, Tampa 20-6. Baker Mayfield was 19 of 37 for 206 yards passing, no touchdowns, and he had an interception. I still think that the Baker that played against Philadelphia is better than that Baker. And I also believe the Baker Mayfield against the Houston Texans, our defense just let us down that game.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at this game, going into it, talking about your key rookies and who's going to help, what do you think are the Lions' keys to victory against the Buccaneers this weekend?
Run, baby, run. Listen, old school, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be fancy, but that's what wears a defense down in the fourth quarter. If you can run, getting 3 to 5 yards per run,
right?
Okay, that's going to be the key. I'm sorry, we're not flashy like that. We don't have a quarterback that's escapable. You get close to our quarterback and he still got the ball, he going down. Okay, we know that he's about as fast as a turtle in molasses going uphill. Okay, so that it is what it is. But that's my opinion, because our defensive secondary is a liability. And it's not even a secret. You saw how Stafford lit us up the week before. You saw how we got lit up with playing Minnesota. So I'm just saying, the longer we can keep Baker off the field from doing amazing stuff and getting these first downs, and that's just my thing. That I just think our run game is going to have to be it. That our two-headed monster, and where y'all asses down. Excuse my French.
Right on with that. Right on with that. Dropped a bomb.
Come on
them. I honestly believe you said a lot of the things that I have down as my keys to victory.
Keep talking. I'm getting my cutter. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. What I said we need to do. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's quite simple, and it says a lot when you say this about what people need to do. But Sean just said it. They need to run the ball, run, and keep the game out of Jared Goff's hands. My first key to victory and first point is we need to. Hey, what's up, Cartier Walker? Pewter and Red, yes, sir. That's my Cartier, man. Love every time you come on, especially after you found me on the on with my man Big Little Country. But we got to stop the run. Gibbs and Montgomery, two-headed monster, man. They do great things with the ball in their hands. That was really the difference in that game last week when they needed it. I think it's easy to say stop Amon-Ra St. Brown. We know what he can do as a receiver. He's a great talent. And James Williams, I mean, they have great receivers. But for me, stopping the run is big. We have got to stop Montgomery and Gibbs. We've also got to put pressure on Jared Goff. But we got to find a way to pressure without blitzing as much as we do. We blitz a lot. We bring a lot of pressure. We disguise things. We do a pretty good job of it, right? But there's got to be a way on certain downs we can, after stopping the run and putting you in the passing situation, we can get there without having to play in a lot of man coverage from bringing the extra blitz. And then we're going to protect Baker. That pass rush that you guys have, you're good up front. Aiden Hutchinson has been an impressive player since drafting him. Like I said, you got the other interior defensive lineman that I like a lot. You guys get after it very well. We've got to protect Baker and let him feel comfortable in the pocket and be able to expose what the Rams expose, which is a little bit passes over the middle and the way they're able to get the ball outside to Nakua. Cade Otton last week against the Eagles had a great game. That helps open up Mike Evans and Chris Godwin along with Palmer. So we're going to have to really get the ball in the middle of the field. And the only way we can do that is protect Baker Mayfield. All right, let me see. Let's go. We're going to go to some of these comments real quick.
Let's see what people are saying.
All right. So Cartier says they have 4 players that have 10 touchdowns. Yeah, man, they got some weapons on offense. We know they do. And I don't know if this can turn into a shootout or will turn into a shootout. Y'all know me being a former defensive player. I don't like that shit at all. I want to keep it low scoring. I like boring football. The football I like, people don't want to watch. But yes, 4 guys with 10 different touchdowns. That's major. And then let's see what Cartier just said. Can we, Tampa 2, cover them all game, you think, or is it outdated? Cartier, the thing with the Tampa 2 is the reason Tampa 2 worked so well when we ran that back in the day under Monty Kiffin as defensive coordinator is we could get pressure with 4 people. When you can get pressure with 4, it allows you to have those corners sit in that zone and those 2 safeties high over the top and play it a little bit different. The way the game is now, the way it's spread out, it's a little bit more difficult to play that Tampa 2, especially that we're more of a 3-man front now, and those defensive ends are really slash outside linebackers the way they do things. So the Tampa 2 is not going to really work with the personnel that we have, although I love being associated with a team that got a whole defense named after them.
You know what? Let me just inject something real quick. I love this format. Your viewers are chiming in, asking you questions, and you're giving them professional, your professional opinion from your experience. I love that. You don't have many people that have a podcast that can talk to you like Big Game can talk to you. So I just wanted to throw that in. It was just like, now,
appreciate that, man.
You can't ask me. I can just give you my opinion unless you talked about wrestling, because I was a grappler back in high school, bro. I'm telling you, but I went to a HBCU. We didn't have wrestling, so I didn't. But anyway, it ain't about me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're not gonna start talking about intramural.
I love how you answering questions, and I'm sitting here learning. I'm just like, wow. I'm just enjoying it. Just enjoying the interaction.
Hey, we can't start talking about the intramural football stories from Bethune-Cookman, goddamn it. Hey, James Houston, outside linebacker, is if he's playing, can the Buccaneers contain him? Hazy, we've been better on the edges than I thought we were going to be this year after making changes on our offensive line grandizer. Like I said, they're good up front. They're good with what they bring. They're good when they bring that pressure. It's going to be tough. That's why also, if we look back at the stats, I got it pulled up to talk about here in a second. Rashad White, just under 100 yards last week, getting more touches, getting more carries, doing a little bit more damage with the ball. We have got to get that run game established as well, and then it also helps. Canales is doing a better job of calling the plays the way that he has, and I think that it helps us out. Let's see, Lion X Factor. So yes, if we have to find a way to contain him along with everyone else that brings that pressure, and that's what's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a chess match. We're going to have to see how it goes. Cartier, you said something very interesting, and I know that I've talked about this on Bucs Report and a couple other shows that I've done over the last couple of weeks about Neil and being able to cover. Here we go, right here. I want to pull it up while we talk. It was about Ryan Neal. He can't cover nobody. Yeah, it's tough, and especially when you bring that pressure and what we rely on as far as coverage goes. That's why we have to be smart and be able to get pressure without all the blitzes. And I believe Todd Bowles can be creative enough to get that done. He's going to have to dig into his bag of tricks, man. It's not going to be easy. He's going to have to find a way, but we can get it done. Let's see. Chris said Bucs ain't giving up 30 points. No, I don't think it's coming off like that either. I think the defense has played a lot better, Chris. I believe that it's going to be a lot more solid game.
Where did he see that the Bucs are going to potentially give up 30 points? Was that
I don't know
opinion, or
I don't know if there's another thing going on in the chat. I didn't see anything else go by, but I think just in general, we gave up 20 the first time. It probably could have been more. We've had some lapses, like a couple times. Like, to me, the worst game this season was the Houston Texas game, and notice CJ Stroud, I think, has impressed and changed a lot of people's minds with what he's done this year. We gave up 450 yards passing and 5 touchdowns to that guy, and the points we gave up after Baker just went down the field and what it looked like was a game-winning drive, right? So I think the Buccaneers defense at times this season, where it was supposed to be the strength of the team, made you like, what the hell are they doing? Made you scratch your head. So I think as Buccaneer fans, just everything is open for conversation and debate of what is or isn't acceptable, what you can or can't do. And definitely 30 points. If we give up 30 points, Lions will be moving on to the conference championship game. We definitely cannot give up 30 points at all.
Here's the thing that you cannot account for in any football game. I don't care who comes up with the point spread or what have you. You can't account for tipped balls at the line. You can't account for somebody making a play, catching a pass, turning around, taking a couple of steps, and somebody coming through punching the ball out. There's just so many things you can't account for. And those are the things that makes me nervous about this game.
Right.
That's what, that's like I say, anything could happen, but those are the things. So those are things you can't account for. And outside of, yes, covering people and stopping a run or having a run game or, but I'm going to tell you this, and I hope the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise is not listening. Y'all got a quarterback that can get you at least 5 yards if the pocket collapse.
Yeah, if he uses his legs, he's not bad at all.
And you don't have to. I ain't talking about you got to get 100 yards rushing, but what that does is that causes the linebackers to creep up, and guess who's wide open? I'm just saying.
Cartier, I like this. I pulled it up on the screen. It sucks because the Lions had all that team included that Monday night game to sit back. I don't know if it team or time. Sit back and just watch our blitz packages. It's one thing to watch it. It's another thing to face it. Depends on if you face those type of packages all the time. And they have a good offensive line. Decker and Peeler. So they protect pretty well. It's certain places on that line you're gonna have to pressure. Most of it is gonna have to be that AB gap. I don't think a lot of outside pressure is gonna work unless we're sliding or overload one side, depending on what we can do. And again, that's gonna depend on the formations that we see. If it's trips, twins, whatever, with Laporta in there with the tight end in, or if the tight end flexes out with a cover with somebody. So it's gonna be difficult to see how we can change it up and not rush with just those 3, that 4. That's the hardest part about that 3-man front. You have to bring that extra piece in because of the numbers. You got 5 offensive linemen, right? 3 defensive linemen. You got to bring 2 more to get that pressure. Then where are you vulnerable at on the backside? Is it your middle? Is it your deep end? I'm not a big fan of blitzing, but I think that's because of the school of football I grew up in, right? I grew up in the Tony Dungy era. I played for the Tony Dungy's and Monty Kippens of the world. We got pressure with 4. We never blitzed a whole lot. And when we did, it was element of surprise, and it worked very well because of how we get after the quarterback with Sim and Sab and Lynch would come up sometimes every now and then. It was just,
now
Brooks.
You did say something they said the comment was that they looked, they had a chance to sit back and watch that whole game. What's up, Baite? That's my nephew.
Okay.
He chiming in from back in Detroit. He chiming in.
And he says he's weary of Mike Williams and Chris Godwin, but if my Lions can apply pressure, we should be good. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, no doubt. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said,
he meant Mike Evans.
Yeah, but that's why I said protect, and he's right. You're definitely right with what could happen if that pressure is applied. But go ahead, Sean. Finish that.
But what I was saying was that playing the game is different, but the confidence that I have with that blitz is that we have a run game that can sometimes run right past that blitz or screen a screenplay past that blitz. So, even still, but like you say, you still got to play it. You still got to play. The plays have to be made on the field. It has to be executed on both sides of the ball. That's the thing that scares me because our quarterback isn't mobile, but we also have the potential to get out of it with our run game and or quick slant, Amon-Ra, which I still that name just sounds like a black superhero or something. I think that name should have been in the Wakanda series.
You know his brother's name, right?
It's
Equanimous.
Yeah, Equanimous. Yes.
Plays now, I think, for the Chicago Bears now. Granddad just dropped some nuggets. So I'll pull this up. Chris Cole said, just on other shows that he's been watching, no reason he put the 30 points. He said just that a lot of people are saying that it's going to be a shootout. And Chris, I believe people are saying it's going to be a shootout because of what the Lions looked like last week against the Rams early on, and Tampa putting up the 32 points they did against the Eagles. So I think it makes people think that it's going to be a shootout, which Man, I've gone so many different ways on this. I've looked at different things online. I've read different things. I'm trying to see stat lines, but you don't know what it's like. It's late in the year. Most teams are not practicing full pads anymore, right? That's gone. They're going through. They're trying to keep people healthy, protected. It's hard to say. The first two series of this game is going to say a lot of what we can expect as fans. And I know as a former player, when I watch a game, my wife hates watching the game with me too, because I'm like, whoa, I want to see that again. Just let the game play. I'm looking at different things. Like, man, the camera panned away too fast.
Oh, you dissecting the game.
Yeah, he slid the wrong way and he did this.
Yeah.
So I got to pull this up here in a second. So it's different ways you look at it. But me watching the game, not as a fan, but as a former player, I want to watch those first two series. I want to see, the offensive coordinators go through that script and then kind of see what adjustments they're going to make and what can be done now to really see how the game's going to play out. Because early on, it's going to be written down, and then we'll see kind of what it goes on. Our good friend, my family member, had this to say about
your cousin. That's your family.
Yeah, that's my family.
Right
that's
there.
My family. So, shout out the Raiders. Today did name Antonio Pierce the new head coach. So Antonio Pierce did get the Raiders job today. I hope that works out for him.
What was his pay? What did they pay him?
I didn't even look. I just saw that they agreed to retain him as the head coach.
Nice.
Hey, Sean Tucker. Yeah, I mean, Cardi, I agree with you. This game. We're going to see, and that's where I think we missed. We needed another back that we didn't get added this year, and we're doing the best that we can. The Lions are favored, Granddad. I think you just looked that up. When I saw it earlier, I think it was 6.5 points.
Yes.
When I looked at the line earlier, and just depending on how many podcasts and people Vegas talk to, that line is going to change a couple more times. There it is. Yeah, over under 49.5 via DraftKings, and 6.5. 6.5 is what I saw earlier on ESPN site as well. Hey.
You know what? First of all, let me address that, because we got people all over America watching this podcast. We probably have 1 million people watching this podcast, so I have to address your cousin. Shout out to Ron Lambert, Division I cornerback, Wake Forest, head coach, coached for 30, it should be about 30, 31 years now.
Long time.
Coaching. And just because you coach don't mean you know everything about football. But anyway, I'm happy to be here right now. Like I said, talking about Detroit Lions. What is it? It's late in January.
Yes.
I'm here. The Raiders aren't here. Dallas isn't here. Okay. So I'm happy.
Hey, Ron, I just heard. Damn, shots fired.
Over the bow. Shots over the bow. The next one, I'm going straight for the hull. I'm going straight for the starboard bow. Say something else.
Grandazzo, you can let me pull this up and talk about it. Dude, when I say this is one of the funniest things in the world I saw.
Did you see that reporter that asked that question to y'all coach?
So,
oh my God.
If y'all missed it, every Thursday is Big Game Sports Buzz, and Jay Stoggs, the Buff Nerd, and I have a segment called "Oh Hell Nah." It's the things that we see in the news that make us just say, "Oh hell nah." This reporter asking Todd Bowles how they were going to adapt and adjust to the weather in Detroit was the "oh hell nah," because he clearly looked at her and said, "Well, you do know that they play in the dome, so we'll only be outside for about 20 seconds, going from the bus to the locker room." So yes, Grandizer, thank you for putting that up. That was the "oh hell no." And if you have never had a chance, if it's your first time joining us and seeing me, please check out my BGSE network, Big Game Sports Buzz, Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Scan that QR code that's up there in the corner. It'll take you to our link tree, all our social media handles, Big Game Sports Buzz swag, everything else. So y'all make sure y'all check that out, please.
Wow.
Hey, Sean, I got a question for you. Let me pull this up for you. All right. Hey, Sean, how's the Lions lineman? Because NFL has the Lions with 31 sacks, taking 4th NFL. Damn, y'all giving up 31 sacks?
Well, part of that is, our quarterback is like mobile, non-existent. I mean, literally non-existent.
He's a drop back statue.
I mean, hell, Peyton Manning could get away more than Jared Goff.
I mean, don't talk about my old teammate like that.
Well, but much respect. Shout out to your old teammate. But we are one of our linemen, our offensive line is still one of the top offensive linemen. That's right now, that's still in the playoffs. And you can look that up. Our offensive line is still one of the top that's still in the playoffs right now, which matters a lot. And all that has to do with our run game,
right?
Get a little split. It's yes, we're a good passing team, but we don't have to rely on the pass. We don't have to be heavy pass. We don't have to go heavy pass. We can do what Michigan did against Penn State in the second half, and with McCarthy just handing the ball off the whole game, if the whole second half, if we need to. Excuse me. So, I'm not concerned about giving up a ton of sacks. Even, we've overcome those games where we gave up 3 or 4 sacks and still won the game because of our run game. So that's what I'm hoping, that, Jared walks away with a clean uniform by the time the clock hits 0 in the 4th quarter, and just go from there. So what's that? How do you feel about seeing DL playing middle linebacker, and how do you feel about doing that? That's a you question.
Yeah, it was. I was looking at something and trying to get something pulled up. Chris, different terms call for different things, and you do it just to see how it's going to work and what's going to do it. I say go for what's working. And one thing, Devin White's been playing better. Levante David is the leader that he is. Leave our linebackers to where they are. Leave Yaya on the outside, put a hand down with Shaq. And I think we should be fine. Even if it's something that I don't agree with, if it works at that time, then you can literally change my mind. Yeah. You can change my mind. But at the same time, if not, I want to see, what's been working these last couple of weeks. Stick to it, and let's keep trying to have the success that we have. Even Joe Tryon-Shoyinka has played a little bit better these last couple of weeks, and I was a fan of his early, and then in the middle of the year, I was like, yo, it's time for Yaya Diaby to get a chance, and he did, and we got better on defense, and Joe is playing better in situational roles, coming in and being able to pass. So,
and I'm going to say this. I don't know if some of your listeners recognize, I enjoy the game of football. I enjoy the strategy and all of that. I'm not just a blind football fan where I'm just going to say my team is better. My team is better. It's there. Right. There's it's their strategy to this, and sometimes it's like, do what got you there. Do what got you to this point.
Definitely.
If I'm, like I said, Tampa Bay is dangerous. Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, if they weren't dangerous, they wouldn't be in this position. Now, and I'm gonna say this: the NFC South was a shoddy division. There was 3 teams that could have walked away with the championship. It could have been the Saints, it could have been Tampa, it could have been the Falcons. But the ones that put it together at the right time were the Buccaneers, and not only that, they took out a team that was the runner-up.
I mean, in the Super Bowl. If was a spliff,
come on,
we all be high, right? NFC South was not as good as a lot of divisions, but yet at the same time, we showed that we play when we need to. Like we said earlier, the postseason is a brand new season. It starts all over. But Cartier, to answer your question, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he took those shots because that's what he does. He tries to get into the head of the opponents that he plays against. He's been a known shit talker, trash talker his entire career. So that's what he does. He's trying to get in the head of Baker Mayfield. But I think the one thing that Baker has going for him right now, I don't know if they think he's pressing. I think he's won over the locker room. I think he's won over the organization. And I think he's just having fun. I think he's finally playing football, relaxed, and not looking over his shoulder and being the pressure of being that former #1 draft pick that had to go out and perform early and all the time. C.J. Gardner-Johnson gets on my nerves, and I hope that Mike Evans goes and eats his ass up because he talks so much. And that's what, that's what a lot of people do. They try to get under your skin. They try to get in your head. And that's why he took those shots at Baker. And Baker took the high road, man.
But like we say in Detroit, what up, doe? What up, doe? But that's it's part of it. It's part of it. And we got CJ from the Eagles. Yeah, and as you can see, they thought he was washed up or what have you, but he resurged as well. And look how bad the Eagles secondary has been. Well, y'all know that because
we showed y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, Cartier, you were definitely right, and that's what I said. I laugh because realistically, the Saints game at home we should have won. We easily could have finished 10-7. That would have just been 2 games behind the Dallas Cowboys and everybody else that finished 10-5. Right? We did what we needed to do. We won the division. We got in the playoffs. Now everything else is water under the bridge. I can give a damn about the division. I can give a damn about the 9-8 record. Because we very likely can go win this game if we do the things that we need to do that I talked about in the keys to victory and advance to the NFC Championship game. And then people will go, well, they were just lucky. They were just this. People gel and get hot at the right time. Think back to the last Super Bowl. We looked bad early in the year. We're like, what the hell? We got Tom Brady. He looks like shit. That Chicago game, that New Orleans game early in the year, it was like, oh, hell no, we're not going to win nothing. They gelled at the right time. Baker and his offense, even Canales, this is his first time as an offensive coordinator. He's finally trying to get it right, making better play calls, making better choices and decisions. The team is getting hot at the right time. Ain't nothing more dangerous than a team that's finally figuring it out.
Hey, as long as you in the game, you got a shot. Anybody does. I'm just happy to be. Even though we had a good record this year, I'm just happy for us to be here at this point because I was looking every game that we played. I'm just like, okay, please let's not revert. Please let's not revert to old Detroit. Please let's not revert to old Detroit. And they continued to win to get to this point where we are. We got robbed by Dallas. They stole a game. And guess what? Ball don't lie. How we say when we playing basketball or football, ball don't lie. How you going to take away our 2-point conversion? That's the second time y'all did that to us, in Dallas. Okay. Y'all done did that before. We had a pass interference play, and then you pick up the flag. You pick up a clear pass interference and you pick it up. And then you're gonna take away a 2-point conversion. So you know what, Dallas? I don't know what Jerry Jones, what deal he made with who, but bruh, when I tell you he is reaping, anyway. And it's not the fans. I give a shout out to the fans because there's some good Dallas fans out there. They love Dallas, come hell or high water. But I will say this: I would rather be in the position I am now than to be in a position where every year I make it to the playoffs for however how many years and get put out the first round.
Facts. I'm going to answer a couple more of these questions, and we're going to get to our predictions for what we think is going to happen in this divisional round. And hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in, chiming in, and dropping your questions. Again, if you've never checked me out this first time, Big Game James, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive lineman, BGSE Network, home of Big Game Sports Buzz, Big Games Chop Shop, Games Pewter Perspective, Two Birds, One Show, and Cowboys Cutting Up. Cartier, we can't pay Baker before we pay Godzilla 13 or so. Mike definitely leaving Tampa, and I would be heartbroken. I think priority, Mike Evans has to get a deal. We have to get a deal done to keep Mike Evans in place. I've said that. I'll continue to say it. Baker signed a 1-year deal. He's playing better. I still think we can figure out something to maybe extend that or do a 2 to 3 year deal. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Next year, look quarterback in the draft with securing Mike Evans on an extension because Baker's playing good. He's doing a good job. Right now, the better he does, the further we go, the bigger his asking price can be. But I don't think Baker can come in and demand too much. I think he's happy in Tampa. I think he found a good fit. And I think we'll still be able to get him at a bargain. But I am with you on that one. We cannot pay Baker without addressing Mike Evans. I would believe Mike Evans will be a part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 2024 season. How they're going to get it done in the front office, I don't know. They're going to work their magic. I'm about to make a phone call next week and talk to somebody.
Is his contract up after this year, Mike Evans? Is his contract up?
Yeah, it's coming up. Well, they need to extend him. So they need to go get an extension to get it done before it plays too much. Dude, I did a story a while back, and y'all can go back and look at the old YouTube channel. I said Mike Evans is a top 10 wide receiver. People thought I was crazy, yet he just continues to impress and do what he does every single year. And hey, actions speak louder than words. Those drops last week, I don't even flinch at that because I know the type of player Mike Evans is. He won't have 2 games like that in a row.
But if you trade him, you get a whole bunch of players for him. And maybe some picks.
We don't need to trade him. We need to, if we want to continue, if it's about winning, we need to keep Mike Evans.
That's what I'm talking about.
Grandize, you asked a question a few minutes ago. I'm gonna pull that up as well, because this is a good one, and I know what my answer will be. I don't know if Sean has one that he knows, if he knows any of the players that's on IR, but if I had a magic wand, I could take any player off IR. I think all Buccaneer fans know where I'm going with this. Ryan Jensen, the All-Pro center. If there was a chance to undo what's wrong with Ryan Jensen and have him on that line, that leader that he is, and then be able to move other people back to where they're supposed to be, like Hainsey, he's doing great. He's doing good. He's sufficed this year. He shouldn't be a center, but he's doing what he has to do, right? If I could bring back Ryan Jensen and have him be in the center and the focal point of that offensive line to be that captain of that O-line, that's the guy that I would pick all day long. Ryan Jensen is missed. We've made good stride and moves, but, it is what it is. It's hard to replace somebody like that. But at the same time, in the game of football, injuries are part of it, and then you have to just be able to adapt and move on.
If I had a magic wand, I would put it on Laporta. Laporta, he's still slightly hobbled with a knee issue, but that would be my guy that I would want to be at 100%, just because he's dangerous. He's dangerous.
Yeah. Ron Lambert, you got a good point. Trade Evans, built for the future. Part of me, the old player in me, I hate when I used to see my teammates and people get dealt. So I think part of me, that's what I'm saying, I want Mike to be there. I miss those days of guys being able to finish careers with those teams and for the long haul.
Yeah.
And the NFL is a business. I know that better than anybody because I still hate the Colts because they made a business decision that cost me a couple of million. You know what I'm saying? But I understand the game and how it works. If that's what they need to do to get that draft capital.
I heard he said it cost him a couple million. He didn't talk about the million he got, the millions. He said, so if he was going to get 5 million, he still only got 3 million. How many of us could say that?
You way too high, Sean. Needless to say.
Boy, please.
It's tough. It's a tough decision that the front office got to make. Your heart or your pocketbook. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Question and score. Yeah, hey, we about to get to those right there, Grandizer. Hey, Cartier, man, I feel you. I love 1-3. I love 1-3. I mean, solid, good dude. What he does in the community, what he does for the Tampa Bay area, the plays that he makes. That's a generational talent. You don't get guys that come along like that all the time. So I definitely do feel you on that. Ron Lambert said, keep Evans or go get one of these big-time young wide receivers coming out. I mean, I feel you. You got to find the right one. But at the same time, I'm like, I played with Marvin Harrison Sr. I don't know if Junior has the same tools
Tenacity.
and skill set as Dak.
Tenacity.
You know, Big 10 wide receivers get labeled as not being able to run the route tree. But that's a good point. With the right pick, you can get another young wide receiver and build. And the way Palmer's playing, I do understand it. Like I said, Ron Lambert, I'm just not a fan of it because I like this day. I mean, I like Mike Evans. I'm up here reading these comments, and thank you, Chris Cole. Mike Evans is a free agent next season. See, I'm coming from CT. My family moved to Tampa in '99. My granny lived in Lakeland. All right, Cartier. Listen, I was in Tampa from '98 to 2001, and then I went with Coach Dungy to Indianapolis after that. So, here we go. We talked about keys to victory. We talked about what we thought our teams could do. We talked about what this season has meant to us. Now, it is time to shake all that and talk about what we think is going to happen this week.
Here we go.
Simp, you the guest. Your first time joining.
Appreciate you.
Perspective. Go ahead and lay it out there on me, man. What is your prediction for this game?
On this game, my prediction is based on just the fundamentals. The fundamentals is offensive line, defensive line, run game. Boring, not exciting. That's it. I'm confident our defensive line will get pressure on Baker. That's going to make him a little antsy and try to do more than is going to put Baker into that Superman mentality to try to do more and, cause a whatever. I'm confident with my offensive line to keep that run game going to wear the defense down, later in the game. I'm going to predict the Lions win. I'm going to stay with what they're saying, 6.5. Thank you. God bless you. Good night.
Hey, that's a great pick, man. Lions 6.5. I love being an underdog. I love the fact that our head coach says that they don't even look at this, they don't even look at spreads now. They laugh and know every week going into it that they're going to be an underdog. I love that people continue to disrespect the NFC South. I believe that this is going to be a good game, but I believe that we're playing a lot better. I believe Tampa Bay goes on the road and they win this game by a score of 28-24. 28-24. That's what I believe. Players of the game for your respective teams in the win. I'm going to go on the defense side of the ball. I'm going to say Antoine Winfield Jr. will be the difference maker and make a play that is significant enough in this game to help us win. Sims, you got somebody?
Yeah, I got somebody. I'm thinking that for whatever reason, Gibbs is going to catch the spirit of Barry Sanders and the history that he has against Tampa Bay over the years. If you ever look up Barry Sanders highlights, a lot of his highlights was against Tampa.
Shut up, Sean. We don't need that shit.
And I'm gonna say Gibbs is gonna sneak up and probably have about $1.25 rushing.
Hey, Lamb, I know the fanboy in me came out a little bit on this game. I do understand that. Matt Stafford showed what it could be done to exploit that team. I believe Baker can do that with those wide receivers, utilize Cade Otton, and being protected. If they can protect him, I think we can expose them just a little bit. I think the Rams showed us enough. Now, do we have Puka Nacua? No, but we got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Palmer, and Cade Otton. We got more weapons at wide receiver spot than the Rams did. I do believe that. Rams got a better rookie running back than what Rashad White has played all year. But, it happens, man. Let's see, Sean, first time seeing you on your question. How did you become a Lions fan? Who's y'all? Sean, you see this question by Grandizer? Now, Grandizer, give you a little bit of background before he answers this. Sean is a real good family friend. You know, we go back like 4 flats on the Cadillac because he and my cousin went to school together. They're damn good friends. So he's a family friend, and bam, you know, that's how Sean and I know each other. And he just happens to be a Lions fan. Your green screen is putting holes in your jersey, but he's holding that up.
You want me to keep holding it up?
No, you good. You know, you got your Barry Sanders up. That's
this authentic.
That's respect right there. I respect that. Because
So,
the only Buccaneers jersey I have.
Much respect.
It's right there.
It's of course everybody. Of course, a lot of people's favorite player is Barry Sanders, but there was a guy that was doing it before him, and a lot of people don't really remember this cat. But Billy Sims, look at the initials, BS. Billy Sims, Barry Sanders. Billy
bullshit.
Sims was nasty as a running back. Of course Barry is the top, but Billy Sims is like my next, just right there, very just under Barry. But Billy Sims.
Hey, and that sound means that we have come to the end of another episode of Games Peter Perspective. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in and listening to our banter about what we think our teams are going to do. Needless to say, I just want to see a really good playoff game. I don't want to see no blowouts or anything. Or if we do see a blowout, sorry, Sean. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing.
I don't blame you.
Hey, Cartier Herman Moore was a bad boy wide receiver. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. But and Robert Porcher was a tight ass, was good as a lineman. And shout out to my man Aaron Gilbert, who lives out here in the Dallas area now, that played a long time for the Detroit Lions as well. But at the end of the day, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Remember to please like, subscribe, smash that bell so you know every time that I'm dropping brand new content. And until next time, peace.